Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome back. This is lesson number 7. We're going to be continuing our study of the consonants in Devanāgarī. This time we're going to study the dental letters. Before we begin, this is a familiar slide. Again, if I haven't emphasized this enough, make sure you know how to read and write all of these letters. These are your vowels. A, I, U, U, R, R, E, I, O. Then we begin with our consonants, which the first set of consonants are the gutturals. Ka, ka, ga, gha, nga. Then in lesson 5, we learned the palatals. Cha, cha, ja, jha, nya. The last lesson, we learned 5 new letters of the ta-varga, or the retroflex letters. These are ta, ta, da, dha, na. Now we are entering the 4th group of consonants, which are your dental letters, also known as dantya. Because the first letter of this category starts with the letter ta, this is known as the ta-varga. Now these letters are dental letters because you take your tongue and you actually touch the teeth, or just the base of the teeth. So the teeth is very important for this letter, for these set of letters. People who have missing teeth will have some difficulty pronouncing these letters. When I say teeth, I'm talking about the front teeth. As far as the letters are concerned, these have the same order as the retroflex letters. So you'll see that when you transliterate them, they will look almost similar to the letters that we did in the last lesson. You saw ta, ta, da, da, na. In this lesson, you're going to be ta, ta, da, da, na. So you'll see that it looks very similar and almost to a certain extent sounds very similar, but they're not the same. When we transliterate this using IAST format, you'll see that all retroflex letters in Devanāgarī will have a dot beneath the letter, whereas the dental does not have any dot or any kind of diacritic marking. So let's study the letters in this lesson. The first letter is ta. Again, this is voiceless because you don't need your voice to make the t sound. The next letter is ta. Again, it's an aspirated voiceless letter. So when you put your hand in front of your mouth, you should actually feel a big puff of air come out. The next letter is da. It's a voice letter because you need your voice to make the d sound. Next, you have the letter dha. Dha is an aspirated voice letter. And finally, the nasal element is na. Again, just to reemphasize that this is these letters are letters where you need your tongue touching the teeth. So if you look at the diagram of the face, you'll see that the red arrow, which represents your tongue, is actually going to touch the teeth. So your letters are ta, ta, da, dha, and na. The first letter of this category is ta. Ta. To write ta, you first are going to draw this curved shape that you see on the first part of this picture. You're going to draw a slight horizontal line that's going to kind of curve downwards and down to the right. You're going to take that curved shape and you're going to intersect that with a vertical line, which kind of meets halfway. And then finally, on top of that vertical line, you draw the horizontal crossbar. So this is how you write the letter ta. To pronounce ta, it is very easy for people who speak languages other than English to pronounce this letter correctly, because this letter is already built into their pronunciation scheme. For instance, I know Spanish requires that you pronounce this letter ta. You don't say ta or any retroflex letter in that language. So for English speakers to accurately pronounce this letter, what you do is you take your tongue and have it touch the teeth and then say any word that starts with T or has T as a non-aspirated form. So for example, the last lesson I had you say the word stop, but you take the S out to get dop. Likewise, I'm going to have you say the word stop, but instead of having your tongue touch the roof of your mouth, I'm going to have your tongue touch the teeth. So instead of saying stop, you're going to say stop, stop, stop. And again, take the S out and you get top, top, top. The th sound is what this letter represents. The next letter is ta, ta. To write ta, first you're going to draw a loop which almost looks like the number 9. On the tail of the number 9, you're going to draw a bottom curve which is going to kind of arch out to the right and ultimately meet with the vertical line. And then you're going to draw the horizontal crossbar, but the difference between this horizontal crossbar and all of the other crossbars that we've drawn is that the crossbar does not touch the loop. The loop breaks the horizontal crossbar. If you recall from the last lesson, when we started off lesson 6, I told you that the horizontal crossbar exists in all letters, but some letters may break it. This letter actually breaks the crossbar when you connect the letters together. So therefore, please do bear in mind that this loop should not touch or should not go through a crossbar. It should kind of break the crossbar, and you have a little gap in the crossbars. So this is ta. To pronounce ta, think of the word think, T-H-I-N-K. But instead of saying think, say tink, ta, ta, tink, think, tink. That's the best way I can think of. I know many native speakers of North Indian languages, when they try to speak English, they'll use this letter to transliterate the TH, the voiceless TH sounds, like think or thank you. They'll say tink or thank you. So this is ta. The next letter is da, da. To write da, you're almost going to draw a figure that looks like the bottom half of the letter da that we discussed earlier. Then on the bottom tail of the letter, you're going to kind of loop it inwards, and then you're going to have it swing out to the bottom right. And then finally, you're going to draw the horizontal crossbar on top of the letter. Again, please be aware. This can be confused with the letter da that we learned in the last lesson. The major difference is that with the letter da, the lower tail comes out to the right, whereas with the letter da, you don't have a lower tail at all. The loop kind of meets into its own curve. So please make sure you can recognize the difference and make sure you don't confuse either letter. Da has a tail to the bottom right, whereas da does not. Before I mentioned this next letter, I forgot to mention the pronunciation of the letter da. Again, it's a dental letter, and many non-English languages will have this sound in its vocabulary. I know Spanish will have something that almost sounds like the letter da, but it's very light. If you want to practice the proper pronunciation of the letter da, take any word that has a D in it, and instead of having your tongue meet the roof of your palate, have your tongue meet the teeth instead. So instead of saying dunk, say dunk, dunk. D-U-N-K, dunk, duh, that's retroflex. To make it dental, you're going to say dunk, duh, dunk. Now this letter is da, da. To write da, you're going to start off by making a backwards 3 shape, or a very curvy E shape. But the big difference between this one is that you're going to actually have the top part of the 3 or the E shape curve into itself. So it almost looks like a loop with a big C shape on the bottom. Once you draw the curve that looks similar to the first figure in this slide, you're going to connect that to a vertical line, and then you're going to have the crossbar. Now, very important that this, just like with the letter ta, the hoop or the big loop on the top of the letter does not go through it breaks the crossbar. You don't draw the line through it or anything like that. It has to be breaking the crossbar. And also be very careful. This is very easily confused with the letter ga. I know when I studied the Devanāgarī script many years ago, I used to get confused regarding gha and dha. Gha has the top part of the letter actually fuse into the crossbar, whereas dha, you'll see the loop actually breaks the line. Okay, so make sure you can tell the difference between gha, that we learned in the guttural lesson, lesson 4, and dha, which is the dental letter, which we're learning in this lesson. To properly pronounce dha, you have to take the voiced th sound, as in this, the. Instead of making it the, you're going to say dha, dha. Bear in mind, the other big difference between the way that we say the th letters in English and the th letters in Devanāgarī is that this, your tongue is actually sticking out. Whereas in Devanāgarī, the tongue does not stick out at all. It's this. Same thing with the ta sound. Ta, we say thank you. Thank you. Your tongue is sticking out. But when you say thank you, your tongue isn't. And finally, we are at the nasal element for the dental letters. Remember, for the gutturals, palatals, retroflex, as well as the dentals, and even in the next lesson, we learn the labial letters, the letters that require the lips. The last letter of each category will be the nasal element for that category. So this is the nasal element for the dentals. This is the letter na. To write this letter, you're going to draw a small triangle-like shape where the top base of the triangle is going to meet outwards, or outwards meaning horizontally to the right. You're going to connect that horizontal line with a long vertical line, and then you're going to connect that vertical line on top with its horizontal crossbar. So that is the letter na. Now the big advantage is that na is very easily understood. It's easily pronounced, and you can definitely distinguish this from the letter rna that we learned the last lesson, the lesson on retroflex letters. So here's a review of what we learned in this lesson. We learned ta, ta, da, dha, na. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment down below. We are almost finished with the consonants. I believe we're a little past halfway. Just to give you an overview of what's going to happen next. Next lesson, we're going to learn the last of the discrete consonants, the labials, which require the lips to make the sounds. Then we're going to learn the semivowels, the sibilants, and the aspirate, and we will be done with the consonants, and then we'll go on to more exciting things like writing words and sentences. Thank you very much for your attention. Again, if you have any questions, please comment below, or you can use the Contact KKSongs.org button on the homepage to get a hold of me there. Thank you very much for your attention. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.